Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode, Brilliant Wealth and Wellness Podcast. And we have Bol Di Masala, franchisor here. Pankaj, how are you doing?
Hey, great to be here once again. And I think this is going to be a much more depth information for a lot of people who is looking for franchising and looking for opportunity to, cross the line from 9 to 5 to a business owner. And that's what
Exactly.
we are here to do that.
Yes. And in this episode, we can chat about how leadership is important in every business, including franchise location, and also what pitfalls that franchisees face that is the main reason to that they fail. So we're gonna you want to stick around and listen, keep listening if opening a business is your dream.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, that's the goal.
Yes. So, have you had instances, for example, because I know I have, where, weak leadership can really undermine efforts of good employees sometimes, or, keeping bad employees or allowing certain things fester in a culture can really make business go downslide pretty fast. Have you had experience like that?
No, it has. The employee management, right, on hiring a right people is the key. We have seen in past, my 25 years of experience. I can tell you which has my personal experience. The KFC in Malaysia had a biggest problem. The problem was that, okay, hiring a wrong employee and not treating them right created a havoc that the employee, I think when you go on YouTube you might able to see that video where the employee is dropping the chicken on the floor and rubbing it up, taking it out and frying and serving to the customer.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
That's destroyed completely. The drop sales drop. Even the company and franchisee, everybody has to come out in open and ask for forgiveness. So it's what you said. It's very very important. Then identifying the right employee is the key. For
Mm-hmm.
us, if the
Yes,
buying a product or putting the food, if you do not buy a good quality ingredients, you cannot have a good quality food.
exactly. And sometimes, like when new franchisees open, hiring might be difficult for them if they never hired people or if they never employed people. But like anything, it's a learning process and it's possible to learn. But one benefit is when you have franchisor, at least you can have some templates and advice what to look for into these employees, how to train them, because we have scripts, for example, that helps them, say this to the customer, don't say that, or if they don't show up, you have to do this, or discipline them in this way or not discipline them. So at least that it's helpful.
100%. You just imagine that you are starting and you have to learn about hiring, recruitment, payroll, the 4 years of course, which somebody is
Mhm.
giving you a step by step guide how to do it. So it's
Yes.
very, very important for taking a franchise like your franchise. You're gonna hand over what kind of ad has to be go out in the market.
Yes.
So with new guy when he walks in and is starting a franchise business, or either he's starting his own, the difference that he has to find out what works in the market, what kind of ad we're gonna put it. When it comes to the franchisor, everything is there. So for them it's become so much easier. And on the top of that is not about just putting an ad on and hiring and what to ask, what not to ask, what to check, what not to check. Plus what happened that you getting a due intelligence done from the franchisor side, which gonna protect you. Otherwise you end up hiring somebody who never know bringing a drugs to your
Exactly.
business. And
Yes.
that could create a big time problem and havoc into your business. You fail.
Yes. And then, for example, if certain things start to happen with certain employees, the franchisee has someone to go to and consult, like, should I let go this person? Should I give them another chance? Should I train them more? There's so many nuances that can come up during when you start to operate and hire people. It can be new and stressful if somebody never done it before.
I completely agree. In our case, we train franchisee how to recruit and what are the payroll, process.
And
And
how
once
much to
you,
pay.
yeah, how much to pay. And once you hire, then what is the onboarding process, right? And after onboarding process, you do employee evaluation. Now, all of these pieces are not available in the market for somebody to go and pick up. So it comes from the franchisor. Now, each business has a different process or different evaluation process. In that evaluation process, if you complete 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks process, and if you have to fire and let go the person, you're not going to end up paying extra workers' comp,
Yes.
and
Yeah. So
insurance
those,
cost.
yeah, exactly. And then, for example, like in our industry, there are certain certifications that are required and licensing. So just knowing how to reach the right type of person to hire and what questions to ask and how to structure their schedule and shift, that's also an important point to know.
No, it's important. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And, having backup like the franchisor, it will make it also easier to attract candidates because they see that, okay, this brand is not just like started yesterday and they're completely don't know what they're doing. Because employees, they shop around too, who they want to work for. And generating that reputation as the employer is important as well because they have options. So you want to have good reputation as an employer. If somebody worked for you, you want them to be able to recommend their friends to come work for you as well. So it's important to keep in mind that employees are also like they're your customers,
Yeah, is the internal customers. We call,
internal
you
customers.
have two different kind of customer base. One is external, one is internal. Your employee is your internal customer. You cannot really focus like body. You in your case, wellness. It's not wellness and massage and therapy for external face. You what you eat and how your internal body reacts, right? So
Yes.
both is very very important and equally important. So you need to focus more on internal. So internal customer base, if they are happy, happy in terms of is not always the money, right? I
Mm-hmm.
trained my franchisee based on, right, internal and external customer, as well as we tell them that, okay, if you have to go and buy iPhone 17 Pro, if you don't have money or you don't have a credit, you cannot buy it, right?
Yes.
So as a franchisee and franchisor, we always build our own credit and our own bank balance, and that is emotional bank balance, right? Every time when you are talking to your employee, you're building an emotional bank balance. How are you doing? How is your family? What happened today? You are late. Maybe there's in a traffic and roadblocks. So you
Mm-hmm.
understand, you put yourself in their shoes. And while you are doing this, you are actually investing into your employee. You're adding an emotional bank balance. So the person will not just walk away for 50 cents if somebody else is paying more. Is always
Mm-hmm.
who you like to work with and what kind of working environment you want to provide,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Safety, convenience, ease, understanding. These are the key factor. And you constantly build emotional bank balance with your employees, and you are perfectly fine. Nobody gonna walk away, right? We always stay
Yes.
in family. It doesn't matter how much we are fighting, we are stay together because emotionally bank balance is so strong.
We're
for,
invested.
in that sense that, mother is taking care of, parents is taking care of the kid so much, even whatever happened, they're not going to just walk away,
Exactly.
right?
Yes, so having that good workplace culture and where people feel like they make a difference, they're not just a number. For example, that's how we operate as a spa. You know, there is resort spas, for example, especially like seasonal ones, even here in our areas. And they have, big, like they have big HR departments, and they will write up employees for the smallest errors, smallest things, where even because even employee try to do something to help customer, but if it's not in their rule book, they will write them up, even though their intention was to make customer feel better. For example, I have an example where a therapist took their slippers off because the floors was sticky during the session, and he didn't want to make the noise to for the customer to not be able to relax because of the sticky floor. So he was walking with the socks on, and so he got written off for taking the slippers off. So that kind of stuff does not create good workplace culture. And if people just want to them be like robots. If the management only want people to be like robots, they're not gonna feel like they're valued either. They're human beings above everything else. So we always try to highlight that, because without the service providers, there would be no business. Without employees, there would be no business.
And
And
it's
giving
a
them
it's
breaks.
yeah, and it's a responsibility of franchisee, business owner. It's your business. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
be fluctuating and changing your pattern and working style every 2 minutes and every day. You cannot bring the new law and regulations. I always tell, my employees that when you go for sports, right, and you are walking into the ground, you cannot decide in that moment, oh, that's a new rule now, you can't do this.
Right.
So you can't, the rule has to be written in the day one before somebody's walking in, and that should be done. All of that job has to be done in franchisor relation. At least you're getting in a handbook, employee handbook, where you have a guideline. And if you're
Yes.
doing a payroll from certain company like ADP and any of those
Mm-hmm.
renowned company, they're gonna take care of your due intelligence. They give you every tool what you require to succeed. That's
Yeah.
one thing which you don't want to look into substandard, cheaper employees, and just like, okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. If you think that is okay, your business gonna be maybe okay, maybe not okay. You're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
be a great business or excellent business.
Yes. Yes, you cannot do subpar in terms of like following the procedures like legal regulations. That's extremely important. And
Yeah,
doing business with integrity, you got to pay all your taxes. You have to, make sure you pay fees, your subscriptions.
yeah.
Because if you try to cheat or not pay somebody, you will not be in business very long.
You need to be consistent. You need to be have a brand standard, and standard is not something a right or wrong, but it could be in a standard, and a standard which everybody follow. It doesn't matter as a franchisor, franchisee, or employee. It's the same rule for everybody. You cannot turn around and tell, right, do what I ask you to do, don't do what I do. So you
Yes,
cannot have
exactly.
that kind of a standard, right? If you're
Exactly.
walking into a kitchen when everybody has to wash hand, is a wash hand. Is that's the process.
Yes.
You need to do it. You can't simply go out for a smoke and come back and start serving food. That's not allowed. That's not the standard.
Mm-hmm.
So consistency and standard is very important. And this similarly, as a business owner, as a franchisee, you're gonna give the correct information all the time, constantly. You cannot have a two standard that, oh, this employee is my very close, so that person is allowed to come late.
Yes, you
Go.
cannot,
Yes,
favoritism is
that's
not
right.
allowed. Yeah,
This is a very, very important that I have
very
seen some of
important.
the great employees walk away just because of that
Hmm.
reason.
That will create bad culture,
That's right.
resentment. You have to treat everybody exactly the same.
Yeah,
If the request time off is you need to give 2 weeks, that means everybody need to give 2 weeks.
everybody.
You cannot just decide, oh, I'll allow this person and this not this no, this person cannot take less, So it has to be standard because that could also be an issue like somebody might say, oh, there's discrimination, there's so many things that could be misconstrued. And
No, I mean, it links to how you become a leader, right? When you do
mm-hmm.
not have a standard, place in place, and you're taking a decision based on your favoritism,
Yeah,
relationship, or
emotions.
emotions, or maybe you're happy today, you walk in and you give everybody, hey, come on, here go, everybody, and a $5. Tomorrow
Yes.
you walk in, you are upset, and you're like, come on, I'm gonna deduct $5 from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
doesn't work. So you need
Yeah.
to set the standard, you need to become a leader, you need to inspire people, you need to motivate people, right? I have seen where franchisees walk into the restaurant and they don't do anything. And I have seen a franchisee, even CEO of my company where I was working, I got very, have a very highly respect for the person. I used to work for Pizza Hut, he will walk in and your store is busy. What he does, he start clearing, he fold his shirts and is clearing a table, wiping a table. That's da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So that used to be motivate us to work harder, right? Where I work in a place where a franchise owner walks in, talking over the phone and walking around and picking something to eat and go. What the hell? That was a bad culture. So when you're bringing a
Mm-hmm.
culture to your either in your family or either the workplace is your extended family, right?
It is. Yes.
Which is feeding you and your friends and your colleagues, everybody who's working there, to their family, and you're going back to your family. So if the
It's a different
workplace,
type of family. Yeah.
yeah, it's extended family, and it's like if this family, extended family, doesn't sustain and work, then your own family is not gonna sustain and work. It's simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
You think that,
Yeah.
okay, I can go back to my own family and become a best person, best father, best husband, and all of that, and when you come to work and you become like, oh, I don't get paid to do this. That's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
That's not I'm gonna do
Exactly.
it. And customer is asking you something, I don't know, ask manager. No,
Yeah.
that kind of attitude, the moment you have it, then you're not gonna sustain. And 100%, I will never gonna keep these kind of people in my business.
Yes. You have to understand that it is you even if you don't know how to help them or answer their question, you need to say, let me find out. Let me
Yeah,
see what I can do. You don't want to say, oh, it's not my job. I don't know. It should not be allowed, actually.
that's right. But you can see, you go to the restaurant, you go to somewhere else, and they will tell you, on your face. And there are certain things which, if you go to a certain location, like suppose to the best example I can tell you, my best experience was with the Apple store. You walk into the Apple store, they are very busy, but when you ask them something, they will focus, stay with you, and basically they will work with you, right? So that's the best example we had it. And it's basically it's about a focus, about being there, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's sometimes you're talking to somebody and you feel like the person is somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
and you getting irritated talking to the person because the person is not listening.
Yes. Yes.
Sometime I had a bosses where they will doing something on the computer, and it's like you walk in, and I'm like waiting for him to finish so I can tell, and the person is telling me, "Go ahead, I can do multi jobs." That means you're doing nothing. Basically, you're not listening to me, not focusing it on your work. You're not doing anything,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes. Yeah, and it goes back to treating people like not they're important. They're not just a number.
That's right.
Taking their suggestions seriously. And actually, we had many input from employees that we take into account and we incorporate into business. So they actually make the business better because what they see every day, it can be maybe some processy or system that could be improved, and their input is important.
I 100% agree with you because they are the one who is working on the floor 24/7. They do understand, like my boss used to call and say, my mentor, if you cannot figure out a certain process, give it to the laziest employee to do the job. They will find out what is the best way to do it because they don't want to work hard. They will find the easy way out,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the skill they carry,
Yeah.
right? So you need to
Yeah.
provide them that, okay, hey, do this job because it's very difficult. They always figure out how to make it easier.
I think that's why I became an entrepreneur because I wanted, do things differently and find ways to do things easier.
Hmm. I agree, most of the people, because we figure out why you working so hard. This is easy things. Just do A plus B. That's it. Job done. And
Mm-hmm.
they are trying to make it because sometimes what happened, a lot of employees when I met them, I realized that one is that they are not telling you the secret and they're trying to make it more complicated. So you
Mm-hmm.
never think of doing it. They are making it as exaggerated way that, oh, it's so difficult, you
Yes.
don't try, I will do it for you. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how it become like in our industry, all these qualified chef, they are doing nothing, basically
Yeah.
the same food what your mom or you cooking in the kitchen, and that's what it is, but they are creating the scenario where you feel like, wow, it's so difficult, nobody else can do it.
I know. Yeah. And oftentimes it's just a matter of doing it a couple times and you can learn and simplify it for sure.
Yeah, no, 100. I can give you an example when I was maybe very young kid, and me and my brother, my TV was not working. Used to be a small box of black and white TV that point of time. So I took it to mechanic, and mechanic was like, "Oh my god!" He opened, and he said, "It's gonna cost you $800, and it's so much work to do." And I was like, "Come on, I need to watch game. It's not working. Can you fix it
Mm-hmm.
now?" And the guy was like, "No, it's not possible. You have to come back after 1 week." And I was like, "Okay." Then me and my brother, we saw each other what to do. I was like, "No, let's take the TV. I can't leave it here for 1 week." So we took it home. What we did it, we opened the entire TV, right? And we found when a small fuse was burned. So we
Mm-hmm.
went to the market, $2. You brought the fuse, changed it, and TV started working.
Exactly.
So I felt like that was a simple problem. The guy was created so he can charge $800 to fix the TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the scenario. So I feel the employees and everybody else that they're trying to do that. Oh, this is very tough. It's not tough. When you do it, you realize that, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
It was simple.
Oh yeah, I mean, I ran into it, things like that too. And sometimes, it is because of maybe sometimes it can come also for newer employees, maybe lack of confidence or over time, like even with therapists that we have at the beginning, they are too afraid to work with this client or this condition or this product. But once they gain more experience, then they start to realize, okay, it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
And then we have to, sometimes investigate like you did, you open television and see what's really going on. And you can
You
find a
have to
sim.
you have to investigate. You have to have some kind of process why your employee or your manager is not doing what they're supposed to do. Is
Mm-hmm.
it difficult or is it something is there? Sometime you can see that we have inventory management. Now, most of the employees are not doing it because they don't, either they don't have a computer to do it, or either they are not good enough,
Mm-hmm.
right?
They
They
need
don't
more
know how to
training,
use.
perhaps.
Yeah, they don't have a training and knowledge. And so sometimes it's all about. So when you are evaluating your employees, you keep asking. Like for me in my company, we won't have three questions to ask, right? And I generally ask my team members. I said, give me three feedback. So one feedback, okay, tell me what I'm doing great, right? Which you have to just say that, okay, maybe one thing, right? What I do great. So
Mm-hmm.
the second thing I said, tell me one thing which I should improve. I'm okay on that. And third thing that I should stop. So it's a green, yellow, and red traffic light process, right? It just, you can tell me that Pankaj, you should stop. Like when we are doing a podcast, you might give me a feedback, say, Pankaj, your hands are moving too much. Stop,
Mm-hmm.
right? It could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding a cup, it's you need to stop, it's put a, so something you will come up. So you're not doing too much. Three feedbacks, and the moment you're gonna give me these three feedbacks, that means you open the door for feedbacks. That means
Yes.
you are accepting my feedback. Now you told me good, bad, and ugly. Now I have opportunity to tell you good, bad, and ugly,
Yeah, and
right?
we should be able to accept that again with no feelings, because I believe what I learned throughout years in business ownership, it's not about feelings. It's numbers, it's the results, it's the measures you can measure. It's really that simple, and it's following this.
100%. You know what you said? Let me add there. We sometimes become very personalized attack, right? We personalize that did, he overcooked it, right? What we do, we go back to individual person. Is not about individual person. That means, my cooking method and process, I need to go back on the book and see,
Yes.
is it the temperature is too high? Is it the cooking time is too high? Or is it the product was chilled or frozen, or what was the reason behind that product, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
where it's something which, as a franchisee or franchise owner, we need to go back and look at the drawing book table that, okay, hey, this is wrong. It don't
Yes.
blame to that one employee, right? And that's where when you start blaming employee for small issues, they stop taking responsibility. They start telling customer, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes. Yeah. And even whatever happens at the end of the day, it's on us as
Yeah.
leaders to
Hmm.
investigate, was the training not sufficient? Do we need to tweak, this procedure, this system, like you said, the temperature? Even with my receptionists, if they, like if there's certain issue keeps coming up, like maybe we need to look into software. Can we add like this new feature into the scheduling, or text reminder? Do we need to update the wording? Because it's oftentimes like employees never want to make mistakes intentionally, unless they're a crazy person, which thankfully doesn't happen very often. But for the most part, most people, they want to do well, they want to do their job well. And so we need to look in why did they make that mistake, and it looks looking into ourselves.
No, 100%, 100%. Here, I wanted to add in terms of like how we have, we have developed a training method sometime that angry customer is one thing which I see my employees, they will stop picking up the call, or they will say, okay, you do it, or I don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They get scared off. But
Mm-hmm.
I train them that, okay, whenever you have angry customers, it's very simple, because the angry customer is telling you literally that, hey, I have ordered for a coffee and coffee is not hot enough. Can you
Mm-hmm.
replace and give me a super hot coffee? He's
Mm-hmm.
angry, he's complaining, he is telling you what to do and asking you to execute. You don't have to
Yes.
think, they are telling you, they are complaining, they want you to do what to do and asking you to do it. Sometimes
Yes.
they walk in, they said, food is bad, I want my money back. It's simple as that. You don't try to convince, you don't try to tell him that this is the best product and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It's their experience. They
Yep.
have been to other places, they know what is good, bad, and ugly. They're spending money. Just follow it, right?
Yeah. And I think we've learned the most important lessons from people that were not happy,
Yeah.
because the customers that always happy, there's nothing much to learn. Okay, everything is good. But the customers that given us constructive feedback or even negative feedback, thankfully it doesn't happen very often, but on occasion, especially at the beginning of our business before we developed all our systems processes, they might give us feedback. Oh, like, well, you need this question in the intake form, or like, why did therapists, didn't say this or that. So the next time we know, and we prevent that experience that might irritate, the next customer. So it can be a very, very good learning opportunity
Yeah.
from when
Mm.
these errors happen, or mistakes, or problems in the
No,
system.
that's I agree with you. So we spoke about how the employee side of it, that's one where, and franchisees to be in a leader. That's how, this is the 50-60% of the work is taking care, being in a leader, taking a right decision, taking the decision, quick decision on time, evaluating and fixing it, hiring a right people. Like these are, the moment you hire a right people, we always say rule of seven, where you are on the top, you have two people under you, and then these two people has under two, so you have a rule of seven. So anytime if somebody has to go for vacation, holiday, they are ready, somebody else is there who can take over your position, or you open a second location and you need to send
Mm-hmm.
somebody. So it's a growth plan is there,
Yes.
and that's always gonna come from franchisee owner who wants, that they have the long-term vision,
Yeah. We
what they
need to,
want to
yeah.
do. Yeah, so it's all about, and a franchisee side. Let's talk about the pitfall what franchisee face that before they open their store. That's another thing which is a big one for us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep. Yeah. So people, well, I want to just add real quick to your point that people don't think ahead of time, like you said, planning to have extra employees for the additional location, things like that. So that could be one pitfall why they're not growing, because they're always just constructed into that smaller, space or thinking. But the main pitfall, I think we're gonna move on to now is they don't follow the system.
Yes.
They don't follow what they paid for when they paid that franchise fee.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like failing to follow the due intelligence which provided by the franchisor, and
Yeah.
they have to understand, they have to believe. If or you don't believe it, please don't buy it, don't sign, my franchise agreement, if you think that, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, you go and maybe I can help you to go somewhere where you find your, you know, trust and
Mm-hmm.
faith or whatever you call it. In today's world, when you born, you figure out which religion you want to follow, where it's there's no limitation that you have to. You want a Christianity, you want a Islam, you want a Hindus, whatever, Buddha, people are doing it. So better
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the franchisees, please do some homework, due intelligence, and understand. And once you sign, please follow the process, because you're wasting your money. You're signing for 10 years, paying a franchise fee, you're going to pay the royalties. You are tying yourself in a legal, scenario
Yes.
where you're not going to make money. You end up going back and forth and paying money to
Mm-hmm.
the franchisor.
Let's say you wanted to do it on your own the way you want it, then do not buy into franchise. Then you got to develop your own system from scratch.
It's a value added for franchisee that you're getting a proven system. So
Yeah, that is the main
that's the
benefit.
number one. Yeah, you're getting a proven system. You're saving your 4 years of hard work, experiments and all of that. What works, what not works, location, where to open, not to open, all of those kind of, put yourself that how long it takes you. So if you are getting a proven system, then you just follow those proven system. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, put yourself into behind that system. Like if I'm becoming going to the college, my son is growing. He will be going to the college. If he doesn't believe what he wants to do it, why to 4 years of that college for what
Mm-hmm.
he's going and paying 50, $60,000 in a year, half a million, and then you come out and say like, I don't want to do this. This is not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is not right, or I
Yeah,
don't like it. What's the point? So
there's
it's
no point.
it's important that person to believe, understand. We all came to, as a immigrant, we came to this country, and we believe in this country, and we understand that everything is going to be fair, all going to work. We have started our business, we are working hard, we can see the reward, and things are happening. So people has to understand, if you don't believe, then people are, they are going to the different countries where they believe they
Mm-hmm.
have a great future or great school for the kids, or whatever
Yeah.
they like to pursue. So
Yep.
number one, I 100% agree, failing to follow the franchise system. And the second one, I want you to talk about due intelligence, ignoring the due intelligence.
Yes. It is surprising how sometimes franchisees will think, well, if I just spend all this money and I open it, people will come. But it's important to do due intelligence, like about marketing, other ways of networking they would might have to do, hiring, like digging more into what it's actually going to be day-to-day operation and what's their duties are going to be.
Yeah, I 100% agree. They need to do their due intelligence in terms of talking to other franchisees, understanding, researching is the product. If they are taking a brilliant, skincare, so they need to understand, is the market for skincare, a market for massage and therapies and wellness. If there isn't a market, if you take that brand and open somewhere where they are in 40,000 and above, $40,000 in annual income area, where people are struggling for the food and basic amenities, they're not gonna successful that location. And that's where the franchisor, like you and us, we know where which area this brand gonna work. So finding a right location, the due intelligence is all done by us, right? Getting the right locations and getting in through the agreements and lease agreements and exit plan from the lease, getting your due intelligence in terms of the employee hiring process, sales, tax. We are guiding you through step by step. I give the checklist to the franchisees, a massive checklist, when and what to do when you are signing agreements, when you are opening a stores, 3 weeks in advance, 1 week in advance, 4 weeks in advance. We build the entire plan for that person to follow and be successful. Getting all
Yeah.
the brand designs and everything else will be
Real estate
provided.
support is very important because for brick and mortar businesses, finding the
Mm,
location is another top priority. It's gonna make
yeah,
or it can make or break your business.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, deciding on the right demographic in town and area, the type of square footage and seeing what, foot traffic they might anticipate. That is one of the things that I've seen people fail before, especially in restaurant business. So that
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
super important.
It's very, very, I mean, they look at to, oh, it's a cheaper rent. That it's not about the cheaper rent. It's a business process works that, okay, 10% of your sales going to go into the rent. Now, a cheaper
Mm-hmm.
rent means there's no sales, there's no
Mm-hmm.
people. So they need to
Yes.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
It's
thing which I
important.
wanted, yeah, another thing which I wanted you to talk about something in terms of the financial commitment from franchisees, right? So, what kind of would you expect from franchisee to understand or estimate or project the financial commitment?
To understand, well, that they're gonna need at the beginning, they're gonna need to cover operating costs too before they start seeing profit. It's not only just build out buying equipment and setting up the space, but then you gotta need money for marketing. For us, Google ads and Meta ads budget is gonna be important. So we say you gotta have 6 months of operating capital or line of credit available. So maybe a lot of franchisees don't think about that runway. They just think how much, okay, the fee and how much to open. But after you open, you need money as well.
That's the biggest one. As you said, 6 month operating cost. Now people has to understand the operating cost is not just one cost, is there is a labor cost, your rent, your gas, electricity, all those kind of bills, which is the fixed cost. It doesn't matter you have a client booked or not booked, or coming or not coming, you're selling one item or not selling it. The moment you open the door, you need a bare minimum employees to start, rent to start, and electricity and other expenses to pay. These are your fixed cost, operating cost. It doesn't matter you have hundreds of clients, so you have one or you have zero. These are the costs which you have to
Mm-hmm.
bear. So minimum of 6 months they need to, mentally ready. It could be up
Yes.
to 100,000, two hundred
Yeah.
thousand, depending upon the location, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second, you said the marketing cost. If they do not do the marketing, you don't have people to cover your operating costs. So the
Mm-hmm.
operating costs plus a marketing cost to bring the client in, it's a big one. Even for us is the similar. Sometimes franchisee they put all their hard-earned money to open a restaurant, pay the franchise fee. Now they don't have enough money to sustain and do marketing, and they do zero marketing, and after 6 months they will shut it down because they
Mm-hmm.
don't
I've
have
seen
anything
that
to sustain.
happen with other brands. We as a franchise, we do marketing for the franchisee, but they still need to provide the budget for those ads. So we have our contractor that it does the ads, but they still need the money for the ads
No, but
themselves.
how does your work? Like for me, Bol Masala, we have 1% marketing fee, which can be used for local store marketing, and 1% we use as a national. So taking care of influencer marketing, radio, TV, newspaper, all those kind of whatever is required. We have that fund, we use it, and we tell franchisee that, okay, hey, we collected X amount and we invested X to your
Mm-hmm.
location, and we provide evidence to them. And plus, we want minimum of 1% to do the local store marketing, but they should do more. But that's where we come in and identify location, which is you pay higher premium, higher rent because you might have to do less of marketing, and
Mm-hmm.
location
Right.
works,
Yes.
for us.
Yeah, it depends on the location, but in general, at the beginning, we want to spend more on marketing. I mean, once you establish more local repeat clientele, then you can kind of scale back on that marketing, especially if we have memberships and then also Google reviews. You build up organic ranking as well with the SEO and Google reviews. So we help with the SEO as well. But we say ongoing, you should spend 5% of total revenue, but it might
Mhm.
vary location to location. But if you want to keep on growing, that's what we recommend. That's for them. And then 1% for us for regional and national marketing.
That's awesome. It's awesome. No, that's a similar for us as well because when you open a restaurant, you have a much more expense every month than the sales, and it takes time for them to achieve the sales. And
Mm-hmm.
another last thing I wanted to discuss that let's talk about how to plan for the long term. Sometime I met a franchisee, they open, they have no planning at all. I would suggest, I insist all my franchisee, they don't do it. We blunt and open right now with you, but
Yeah.
they should be doing it, planning for
Yes.
each quarter or in a year. You need to have an a
Mm-hmm.
year plan. It
Yes.
doesn't happen, it's okay, but at least you should, like, if you come to my home, my office, then you're gonna see whiteboards and all of that kind of papers all over. That's how it is. You need
Mm-hmm.
to. What do you think? What's your thought process on terms of neglecting long-term planning? Why they're not focusing on it?
I don't know why they're not focusing on it. I mean, it could be like also mindset, maybe a little bit small thinking, just only thinking too short term, just
Yeah,
seeing day to day. And that can make them really get stuck in where they are and not grow the business as far as it could.
I want to add here is we were growing and still, we meet a lot of franchisees. They all think their minds are low volume mentality.
Mm-hmm.
They always target that. Okay, today there's no customer. How I can reduce the cost, how I can reduce
Mm-hmm.
the wastage. They are not thinking high volume mentality that, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if 100 customer walk in, what's going to happen?
Yep.
Am I able to serve? Do I have enough stock? Do I have enough people? How do I
Mm-hmm.
plan that?
Yes.
Not at all. Like if you get in a catering, they will turn around. I'm sorry, I can't do catering. Why? Because I don't have an employee, I don't have a stock. Da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Means you're not ready,
Missing
right?
opportunities.
Yeah.
And
So
then you can grow.
you can't grow. These kind of people, they destroy the brand and they destroy their own investment and money. Plus, they're destroying all the franchisors' dream of expansion and finding ideal people. They are low volume mentality. They shouldn't be doing it. They should go to nine to
Mhm.
five job. That's it.
Yes. Yeah, if you want to play very safe, if you don't have that long-term vision or like visionaire, like, I mean, you don't have to be, as a franchisee, I guess you don't have to be as big of a visionary as a franchisor, but you still have to be a visionary. You still want to picture the growth of your store. You have to hire more than you think you need. You always should have more people than you think you need because your customer base is gonna grow when you have that capacity to serve. Like if you limit it by only two servers and now you have a wedding party of, 20 people that want to come, like how you gonna support that? How you gonna deliver
No, 100%. That's I agree. I see that that's happening, and that's the reason they fail. For people has to understand. People like me and you, we understood because I was a crew member, right? I used to sweep and mop and clean my restaurant where I was working. So in that time, my mind set was low volume mentality. For me, I clock in. Oh God, thank God there's no customer today. I don't have to do cleaning, right?
that?
That was
Mm-hmm.
the mindset. Then
Mm-hmm.
what happens slowly, gradually, that when you come out from that mindset, you become a supervisor. Then your responsibility become little more, and you become, oh, okay, let me clear my shift. Let me plan. So the people start planning because they are shift manager. then you become a manager, then you are managing the entire store. You cannot think that, oh, no customer today, is raining, wow, fantastic. So you planning that, okay, yay, how we can be more positive, and then you grow and grow. So it's a level. So you cannot, as a crew member, and sweep and mop that kind of level. If your mind is for low volume, then you should not. That person never gonna be, till the time he become a manager, he is ready to become a franchise owner. Then
Mm-hmm.
that kind of manager become a franchisee. And for us, we always there for these kind of people who become a manager from the crew member or wants to own a business. We happy to help them, funding, assistant, open a store,
Yep.
installment payments, all of that kind of stuff we do for them. So
Mm-hmm.
it works out, it's in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best quote I've seen is that it's the business does the best when employees think like owners and owners think like employees.
That's right.
And if employees, if you, we try to create culture where they have that understanding that if if they do well, then the business do well, and it's will be good for everybody because then everybody can pay their bills. Because if
That's
business
right.
can pay their bills, then and we just wasting money, we just spending on expenses and not having enough revenue, like business is not going to survive. That is the bloodline of the business and oxygen of the business. So um, we need to somehow make sure that they understand that pretend like the expenses came out of their wallet, because it does. Like if experience is bad, if there's no customers, then you can't expect to have good paycheck too for a long
Yeah.
time.
No, that's
But
great. Yeah.
but
Awesome.
yeah, people that want to take care, that think like owners, that's who we're looking for to become
Yes.
franchisees, and we're able to help them, provide them that systems and processes and guardrails to find the best location and support them along the way.
Absolutely. That's great. Today was great. Before we end, I wanted to give you a surprise. I want you to see what is it we are doing. Let me remove.
Oh,
Can you
okay. You
see
have
it?
to add it closer to your face.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
yeah, there you go. Yes, I see bowl de masala. Nice. It's like a bowl.
It's a clock.
Oh, yes, I see. It's a clock. Very
It's a
nice.
it's a clock.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. I
So
have,
we
yeah,
gonna be putting it this in the store as a clock.
nice. Congratulations. Yeah, we love little swag stuff too. I got socks, which I gave you socks.
I
Yeah, we should think about clocks too. Well, thank you for joining me today. Great conversation, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have
Thank
a
you.
great day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye. Have a brilliant day.